The clip I'm going to show now is actually a clip I've already introduced to you that I used in my eugenics video, but I wanted to actually take a moment and show it separately because I think it's important. And I'm going to say what I wrote, because I wrote like a lot of comments on that video when I showed it in my eugenics video, but I think it's important enough to show it separately. So for those who were surprised by the amount of anti-Semitism that suddenly unveiled in the US and the world the day after October 7th, if not as soon as it was known, right? There was a whole system underground that was already installed and ready to go and announced like everywhere around the world that, hey, that was something to celebrate and that in general we should gas the Jewish people and send them back to Poland, Germany, wherever they were treated appropriately, right? Where they, whatever, you guys get. So a lot of people were surprised, and some of my friends were surprised. A lot of people, the moment it happened, switched their personality real fast. Like they were on friendly terms with me. I'm talking about, obviously, non-Israelis. I've been traveling, so I've met people. The moment that narrative started going up, it like went from underground to above ground. Yeah, they switched their personality really fast and basically, you know, went from, oh, you're such an awesome person to, oh, I wish you were dead. Luckily, I'm a Jew for a while now, so I'm used to it. It's something that happens once you start really questioning people about their own real beliefs and you get to experience these subtle like comments. So there are two kind of people, I would say. Those who make those anti-Semitic remarks without really being anti-Semitic. They're just repeating something they've heard without really understanding, without really digesting or really knowing that it's problematic. Really, like out of innocence. I can say the same, right? I heard when I was going to the US for summer camps when I was younger, like when I was like 8 years old and stuff like that, from time to time, I would also hear like jokes about dark-skinned people and things like that I sometimes repeated, and then my uncle is like, are you a racist? And I'm like, no, isn't it just a joke? Because I really took it naively, you know. I never thought that people really thought that way. I just thought it's just a funny stereotype, because in Israel we have stereotypes for everything and anyone, basically. So growing up in Israeli culture, it's like, it's so common. Like there is no ethnicity, sub-ethnicity, village, neighborhood that you can come from that is not stereotyped in some ways. I even can tell you that when I got to experience that, I told Israelis where I grew up, and they just told me, look at me, and were like, oh yeah, you definitely have a personality of the kind of person that grows in that city. Like, oh yeah, that's like classical, like, I could have guessed that just from how you behave, like that's stereotypical your town kind of mentality that you have, which is sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Sometimes those jokes are like, okay, if somebody's from this city, like you better watch out because they're probably crazy. But so this is how I perceived it. I didn't realize the impact of it until later, until I was told, hey, listen, people really do believe those things. So there are people like that, right? Then they say some like stereotypically, hey, let's joke about Jews and money kind of situation. And then I'm like, I'm laughing, but then, and then, I don't know, like you can sniff it, like you can feel it when somebody says it, when they have like real hate behind it. And some people just say it just cause, you know, just to tease or just because they think it's funny. And I want to show that, hey, this thinking can be dangerous, right? This kind of joke can be dangerous because like this is really life-threatening. Some people like would just reveal who they really are, as in, oh, we're saying this joke because this is, we want you to be gone. Some were like, oh yeah, like brush it off, and then later, like, you know, they switch on you. and you discover that, like, you know, that, let's say, it's like, you know, it's like the dating people kind of situation where it's a nice guy, where they're super nice to you. But if you say you're not interested in dating them, they switch on you and they just be like, oh, who would you want to date you? You're so ugly. And like, I wish you cancer and stuff, like this kind of people. This is another kind of situation. But it's kind of scary when it's not you personally. Like, or if actually it's kind of scary when they go against every woman out there, right? Because men can be dangerous to women. You cannot deny that. This is why I'm scared when men become very aggressive. I'm like, okay, this is scary. This is scary because, like, you know, I don't want to live in a society where men decide among themselves who gets what according to their sword fighting skills, because this is what they think is important, right? Not like what women want. It's like, oh, the best person who knows how to use their sword, who gets the first pick and stuff like that. Not necessarily what women would like, you know, different like rating systems. It's personal, you know, people are individuals. So this group thinking is kind of scary in general, but it's one thing when it's a joke and like, oh, women cannot drive. And I'm like, yeah, true, I can barely drive. You should stay away from the road when I'm driving. Versus like, a woman cannot drive. Like, we should really take away their licenses. I mean, that's not so funny anymore, is it? So it's the same with the Jewish people. The problem is that I've encountered a lot is that even if they, you know, you tell them, hey, listen, this is dangerous and Jews are actually getting attacked, gaslighting happens a lot. It does happen a lot. So here's the beautiful video where I show it. That the beautiful thing is, like, this video on YouTube, the comments are so profoundly anti-Semitic, like in the worst possible way. Like, I really digged into just find one comment was like, oh, I see why you felt like that, Sarah Silberman. People are actually going out to the streets now and chanting that Jews should die. Maybe you had a point there, and maybe Piers Morgan. And the thing is, like, at this point, he's so gaslighty, he's gonna set you, the UK, on fire.
America.
Do you think America loves you?
That's such a weird question. Do you think America loves you?
I shouldn't think so for a moment, no. So they think, who's this obnoxious little limey Brit we got sitting here?
I think when you talk about a whole people, it's pretty, you're generalizing a bit.
No, I mean, does it matter to you that you're popular in America?
I'm popular for a Jew.
See, that's why people like you. Your ability to be just very sweet one moment and then just utterly shocking the next.
Well, but it's 100% true. I mean, if there's one thing we should realize, it's...
Like, look at his microaggression, like his face, right? Like micro expressions. He's clearly dismissing everything that she's saying and just like rolling his eyes. Of course, like not even taking the minimum extra action of a decent person. That would be, hey, wait, why do you feel that way? Like, what kind of anti-Semitism have you encountered?
In general, the world hates Jews, you know?
Look at his face. Like, his face is literally, you, like, look at that. It's like, he's like, oh, another, like, look at it. This is contempt. This is the face. Like, this is an analysis. This is contempt. This is, like, the worst. Like, if somebody looks at you like that,
but, you know, it's nice to be an underdog, I guess.
Is that true, though?
See?
Is it not?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think when stuff like Mel Gibson, when he said, you know, like Jewish stuff or anything like that.
Do you know, like, what it is like in the elite sphere behind the scenes? Like, it's kind of scary to be Jewish, to be honest. You have to hide it. Why do you think those Jews are so meek? And, like, there is a lot of screening, right? They, like, it's either you are a Jew and you just off media. You don't say, well, you don't speak, you don't do anything, right? You just do like strictly business and nobody knows you're a Jew and it's just like a sideline fact. Or if you want to speak up and be like, hey, then you get filtered.
There's outrage when he says things like that.
And that's actually another video I'm going to show next. Like, this is about Alan Dershowitz showing it, talking about it. And this person, Alan, is a leftist. Like in Israel, he would be super far on the left with the way he thinks, because I heard him speak. So if somebody like that says it, like...
There is outrage, but I think secretly there's nobody that likes blatant anti-Semitism more than Jews, because it's something you can point to. It's not just a gas in the air anymore, you know?
This is actually the vast majority of the Jewish reaction that I've heard, is that thank goodness it's finally out. We can say, hey, listen, people are anti-Semitic, and people would be not responding like Piers Morgan does with his utter complete, like, who do you think you are to complain kind of face, which, to be honest, might as well be just openly anti-Semitic, you know, just why? This is such a waste. These kind of people are the worst.
But I'm not, you know, I'm a Jew in that it pours out of my pores, it oozes out of my pores uncontrollably. And personally, I have no religion, but...
Here is Alan speaking about it. Their Antisemitism is far left on the Israelist terms, but still even
Let me tell you, the worst department in terms of anti-Semitism and anti-Israel department are Jewish studies departments. Why? Who's hired to become a Jewish studies professor? They're talking dogs. Let me explain who they are. They are failed Israeli professors. They couldn't get a job at Tel Aviv. They couldn't get a job in Bar Ilan. They couldn't get a job in Hebrew University. And so they come to America, and there are thousands of them, third and fourth rate Israelis, who come to America. And if you say, hey, I'm an Israeli and I support Netanyahu and I graduated the Herzliya Institute, you're not getting a job. But if you're a talking dog, I'm an Israeli, but I'm a virulent anti-Zionist, you're getting the job. And so Jewish Studies Department, Hebrew Studies, Holocaust Studies Department are populated by the worst anti-Zionists and some of the worst self-hating Jews.
Actually made me a bit of an optimist. Maybe he's less of a leftist now. Because I heard him talk before. It was very like classic left, but I think it's like understandable if you're American and you don't get to experience the Israeli day-to-day life. Maybe woken up to reality. I have no idea where he stands now, but I saw this clip and I thought it was important to show. And another thing is that I want to say is that sometimes it's not just the Jewish department, it's also the Islam department that you get the worst Islamists that are so radical that they get banished from Saudi Arabia. Like, just so you know, it's not only the worst Jews that you're getting, you're also sometimes getting the worst Islamists. And they are, you know, they're dangerous. They're very dangerous people. Like the Jews, like that, the ones that anti-Zionist Jews, whatever, you know that in the end of the day, they're going to get slaughtered anyway because they're Jews. So it doesn't matter. By the way, to be honest, like, I know there is a lot of fear of like free speech right now. There is some freedom of being a Jew. It's like you're going to get hated anyway. And you're going to get targeted anyway. And if you are an Israeli Jew like me, like you are I'm top tier target anyway, without even speaking, without even being famous. Just for being an Israeli Jew, I'm a legit target. You don't need an excuse, you know, to target me. You can target any Israeli Jew and be like, oh yeah, good job. Like the world will cheer. So I don't even have to voice an opinion either way. It doesn't matter what I think. So it gives me freedom. Personally, it gives me freedom. But if I want to be a professor in the United States, then it doesn't matter what credentials I'm gonna get. I'm probably not gonna get hired anyway. So whatever. I don't like universities anyway. It's not my place. I like nature, you know. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Please support me if you can. I have a Buy Me Coffee link below. And share it with your friends and stuff. And call out anti-Semites, okay? And I know it's scary with current climate and everything like that, but seriously, if everybody spoke up, then we can save the West together. So talk while you can. See ya.